A very good morning to all of my learners. It's me again, Mr. DT. This is the lesson continuous of what we have been doing before, which is the constitutional right and responsibilities. So, as we indicated on our first lesson, just to recap, constitutional rights are the rules and regulations that are being implemented by the government, and those rules and responsibilities are the ones that needs to be followed by any individuals. So, such as everyone has a right for education. Um, it's also your responsibility as a student to make sure that you make use of the education at the same time health and care. Health and care, it's governmental responsibility as well to make sure that they provide um, health and care for any individual in South Africa. But it is also your responsibility or your parents' responsibility to make sure that you are healthy. So we have touched on those constitutional rights and responsibility, and I have also given you a task that you need to do, which was a puzzle that consists of six constitutional rights that you need to fill in. So I will send you the memo of the activity as well, which was the first answer there in the lesson that it was slavery. The second one, it was human dignity. The third one, it was equality. And there is a column for education as well. And freedom of speech. But for those who made a mistake, I will send you the actual memorandum so that at least you can see in which area that you made a mistake. Okay. So the lesson for today is a continuous of what we did talk about in the first lesson. So what you need to understand at the end of the lesson is to make sure that those constitutional rights that we mentioned before, you have to understand that there is issues that affect the constitutional rights and responsibilities. So we'll be touching based on the issues that may hinder the constitutional rights and responsibilities, and also be learning the types of disabilities that we are having in South Africa as well, or worldwide. So let me go to the third slide. Okay. So the topic here is about the issues that affecting the rights and responsibility of individuals of South Africa. So a major issue that can hinder the, the rights and responsibility is the term that is called discrimination. When we're talking about discrimination, we are talking about when someone is it's being violated his or her human rights that are being given by the constitution. For example, if someone is being disabled and that person is not given opportunity, so you discriminate that person. If another person, the same one is the religion, if the person is coming from another religion, so as you know that we have a lot of religions in the country, we have Muslim, we have a lot of them. So if you discriminate the person by the religion, so it's part of the also the discrimination, and also the gender. If the other person is a female and you say the person cannot work in that particular environment because the person is a female. So discrimination are those sort of things. So it's one of the major factors that affect the rights and responsibilities of any individual um, that are living in South Africa. So what we should learn as human being, as also student, is that um, people look different. and they speak different. They come from diverse communities as well, and background. So as human, we have to make sure that we provide a rainbow nation. When I'm saying a rainbow nation, it's all about accommodating each other. We have to make sure that we accommodate each other. We make use of our difference as human beings. So these are the factors that may affect the rights and responsibilities. So our topic is at the end of the lesson, you have to make sure that you find ways to stop the discrimination. To stop discrimination, you have to make sure that to stop discrimination, you have to make sure that you have a respect for other people's rights. You have to make sure you respect their rights all the time. You have to make sure that if the person is disabled, you must respect that person and make sure that you treat that person equal all the time. You don't need to see the person different from you. So you have to make sure you don't classify that person as a different person. Also, you have to make sure that the people that are infected and affected with HIV and AIDS, we must not discriminate them. So the CAPS document of South Africa indicated that we have to focus more on these factors in the discrimination, which is disability and HIV and AIDS, how the people with HIV and AIDS are being treated. So the next slide, as you see in the picture, these are the people that are disabled. Uh, this is the sign that shows HIV and AIDS, that everything starts within you. Okay. There is a types of disabilities. So we have three types that I will be talking about. We have mental, we have sensory, we have physical. When we're talking about the mental one, we're talking about it's something that is inside the brain, like brain damage, all sort of forms. It deals with brain being affected, brain wise. So it's that type of disability. The sensory one is it deals more with eyesight. If you're not seeing well, being blind, at the same time, if you have a problem with your ear, you're not being able to hear very well, and some have a problem with speaking. So it's a sensory one is that type of disability. So the last one that we have is it's physical, which is the body parts. It's the body parts like if your arm is not working very well, if your leg has a problem, like you're paralyzed. mm, So all those are the three types that I'll be focusing on, which is mentally, sensory, and physical. You have to make sure that you know when you're talking about mental, you're talking about what, when you're talking about sensory, you're talking about which types of disability, when we're talking about physical, because at the end of the chapter there is activity that will be focusing on these types of disabilities. Okay, so how does the society views these disability issues? So the society has a problem with disabilities, like they 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 view the people with disabilities in certain ways. Like if they see the person who has no hand, they will feel ashamed. So that affects the person that is being disabled at the same time, because they don't like to be viewed in a certain way. And also they have been regarded to be different. They regard themselves, they don't, the people with disability don't see themselves as different, but it's the impact that we do to them that is causing for them to see themselves different because we classify them, which is it's wrong. We have to make sure that we welcome them all the time. We have to make sure that we accommodate them and feel welcome and make sure that they don't see any difference in any different part that they don't have in their body. And also the law of the country in the third part, it's also categorized the individuals that has these physical and mental. Like when you fill in the form, they will say, do you have disabilities or what? So those with disability, it's also the issue to them because it will feel like they have been made a favor when they fill the form and they indicated that they have a disability. So, but this government now at this moment is trying to make sure that there is opportunity for them at the same time. So, how others view HIV and AIDS? HIV and AIDS, in the side of HIV and AIDS, the society treat them different. As they know that you have HIV and AIDS, and they try to distance themselves towards you, and they don't have knowledge on how the HIV and AIDS can affect the person. So what the society do if they find out that you have HIV and AIDS, they distance themselves towards you, and they always treat you with care, and they always fear that you will die at the end of the day, but it's not that way around. Then they have that stigma uh, that you will die. So you have to make sure that at least you know types of disabilities, how people view disabilities, HIV and AIDS, because in this capsule we were focusing only on these two, and also this. Okay, so I'll just put into practice the disabilities, like in the way that we are living. I will take the disabilities and put it in the way that we are living. So the first one is when you take people with disabilities to education system, okay, you will find out there is few schools that accommodate the people with disability in the country. They had to go to their specific schools. Most of the schools they don't accommodate people with disabilities in their classroom, so they don't accommodate them, and also these people with disabilities. What we should know is that they have less access to schools. Some throw without education. So this also affects those with disabilities at the same time with educational wise, and also the transport system of the country. Public transport does not make a provision of those with disability. So it's difficult for them to travel with us in public transport because they are not being provided with equipment transport that will also help them to travel with us. Trip organizers for medical education purposes also there is less movement that is happening to them. So as you see in these things that they are being classified and they are not being put inside of education and transport. So the sports as well. Sports also need to know that everyone needs to be healthy, have a healthy lifestyle. If I can be healthy without, if I can be healthy, sorry, if I can be healthy. So why does the person with disability cannot be healthy as well? So there has been a way that has been done for those with disability to be healthy as well. Also, sport facilities do not um, make a provision for disabilities. If you go to football stadiums, there is less chairs for those with disabilities, so there is no shops for them at the same time. So it's less things that have been done for them. So this is why they feel different from others, because government is also failing them at the same time. They see government is failing them if you don't have a language wise, the attitude and value of the society. They don't value those with disability. They always have a say of no, you cannot speak that because of this and that. So and also they have terms such as deaf, and you see those kind of things are barriers that can affect the person. The person can have been affected emotionally wise. The last one, it's work and income. Work environment always look for best candidates for jobs, but they put aside the people with disabilities most of the time. What we should know is that these people with disabilities, they also need to look after their families. They also need to provide. They are not there just to stay in wheelchairs and not provide for their families. So we have to make sure that we do something just to make sure that we don't classify those people with disabilities. We accommodate them in work environment, we accommodate them in education, in schools, transport wise, sport activities, because it's very important. Because if we are going to particular areas and they can never go to those particular areas, that will affect them. So the lesson for today, it was more on that. And also I have the activity as well, which is the activity. It's an activity that I will be sending you. You have to name the type of disability. As I've indicated, we have three types of disability. You will see these pictures. I have four pictures: the person, the older person, and also the child at the same time. So you have to make sure that you name the type of disability in this block, which is A. The second one, you name the type of disability. So as you know, we have three types of disability. We name them. Also, the second one, you have to complete this activity. So by seeing in this picture that contains the disability, I have this for disability. So my question to you is, explain two things that are very difficult for this person to do. So you just check the picture and explain two things that the person can difficult to do them, and also what is needed to be done to assist this person, to your own view here. And also the third one is explaining how the government could play part to help and assist this person with disability. Okay, so it's just a small activity. So another lesson for you, it will be more of celebration of national days and international day. Okay, I just want to say thank you for your time. Um, I hope you learned something. If you need anything, any material, you have any question, feel free to contact me. As you know, my email address is titi.supervisor gmail.com. And also my cell number, it's 081 So feel free to contact me anytime. You can WhatsApp me as well to ask a question. Today's lesson was late, so thank you.